Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So I'm out here with the last little bit of light I got, and I wasn't feeling very good about the fact that I missed those numbers in our translation decode when we ran the gematria. Um, but these things are tricky, and mistakes are going to be made, and that's just I have to accept that. But when I make a mistake and I catch it, we're going to point it out as fast as we can, fix it, and move on. We're not here to, deceive anybody or anything at all. And I simply missed these numbers, guys. I didn't mean to miss the numbers. I'm not the best with numbers, and from time to time it's going to happen. Hell, I probably don't even get. I know I don't get everything, even on our letter and number decodes. There's too much, and I got to pick certain things and write them down, and then move on. And then once we start a pattern, then I'm looking for certain things. So, but I thought that I wanted to get this out of the way right now tonight so that we can move on and get into the binary. So what I did, and before I get started, I also wanted to say from my last video, I said after I signed something after I'd signed off. And I don't know how many people stuck around for that, but I think it's worth saying again that somebody could actually argue why all of this stuff is in these decodes, why it all hooks up, and why it matches through the gematria calculator, or why it uh, makes a pattern, and why whatever we find will hook up through the gematria calculator. Somebody can argue why that is, but they can't argue that is. And again, you can argue it's a coincidence, or you could argue I don't know what else you could argue, but it's definitely there. All right, and we can prove that. And we think it's because some of these quantum computers, probably a lot of these quantum computers, are running a gematria algorithm. They go out and find something in reality that the gematria will match who's running the calculation and where they're at, or where they're at, who's running it. At one point, it was Zhu Yi, right? It wasn't even necessarily the university. It was Zhu Yi in Soft and Dry. And he was at the University of Virginia. So, anyway, if you get in the ballpark, the gematria hooks up. And you can argue why, but you can't argue that it does. And we can prove it. We can prove all this. So, I thought it was worth saying again, if nobody caught it, because that's pretty important. But, what we did was got the gematria of S, T, and C, as you can see, and then I ran the vowels and found that A hooked up with S, O hooked up with C, and U hooked up with C. So we used A, O, U. All right? Those were our vowels. That's how we got them, because there were none. And we figured, if it was running a gematria algorithm, that's certainly what it would do. And apparently it would. So you had sat as sat in English, now SUT is now in Welsh, SAOC is sack in Irish, SAU is or in Romanian, TAUS is I'm ready in Hmong, TAU is your in Italian, I search is or CAUT is I search in Romanian, SOAT is our in Uzbek, COAS is with in Galician, UA is among others in German. SOT is today in Albanian. OUT is out in English. SA is two in Romanian. SAUT is jump in French. TU is you in Spanish. CAU is high in Vietnamese. SA or SOA is sounds in Portuguese, sounds, like the sounds of silence. Right. TOAS is in the room in Estonian, and SU is it's in Spanish. All right. And then we took and ran those through the gematria calculator and got 4 ciphers for each one. All right. And they did hook up. So you have at 23, you had sat is 23 and high is 32 and 32. At 65, you have today is 65 and out is 65. So sat high, today out, sat out today high. But anyway, at 35, you have how is 35 and to is 35. At 25, you have today is 25, out is 25, and your is 25. Today you are out, but that's the wrong your. So again, information missing. At 19, you have to is 19, hour is in an hour, on a clock is 19, and how is 19. At 33, you have or is 33 and its is 33. At 29, you have sack is 29 and your is 29. Your sack. At 7, you have sack is 7 and sounds is 70. At 11, you have you is 11 and out is 11. At 15, you have or is 15 and jump is 15. At 21, you have or is 21, jump is 21, width is 21, its is 12. Excuse me, or is 12, not 21. If I said 21. At 48, you have jump is 48, width is 48, its is 48. Jump with its or jump with its was 21. And at 60, you have jump is 60, width is 60. So jump with its, or jump with its. I'm missing information. I don't know what it's with its what. With its what? Good question. I don't know the answer because I don't seem to have it. We don't. At 42, you have I'm ready 42. It's for 24, and with is 24. So I'm ready. It's with who? Don't know. At 45, you have I search is 45, in the room is 54 and 45, among others is 54 and 54. I search in the room among others. I typed that into the Google search. I got a search room. And I'm not really sure what a search room is, but that's what I got. I didn't think the gematria all matched up, so I didn't look into it much further. But a search room, that's what you get. And at 20, you have 20, you have you is 20 and your is 20. So that's it. Unless I missed something else, but that definitely checks off all the words. All the words hook up in some way, shape, or form. And they would make something out to make sense. Out today, your fault? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it would, if you ran words against some of these words, you might fill in the blanks, but I don't think we need to do that. I think we need to move on to binary and then get on to either Danny's maps or something else. But that takes you through the translations. And so now it's done. It's out there. And I apologize for making the mistake of missing that. Otherwise, we would have covered this a while back. And I wouldn't have been in there going, how did I miss this? How in the world did I miss it? I'm not sure how in the world I missed it. I'm not the best with numbers. But I'm good enough with numbers. I'm not horrible with numbers, guys, all right? Don't get me wrong. It's just that numbers aren't my real forte. More speeches are my forte. I was better with words than numbers. And now I'm trying to be good with both real hard. And I think I'm okay. It's just sometimes I'm going to miss stuff. That's just it. And I may even miss stuff with words. I mean, you're dealing with just notebooks and notebooks of information when you're going through that and you're going through it fast like we are. I try to learn a little bit about each thing as I go. I don't have time to spend in detail, you know, learning this stuff in detail, and otherwise we'd be here for a year on one one decode. It's hard. It's hard as it is. So we'll move on to binary next and run binary through all the categories, once forwards, once backwards. And when we get through, and that's just to see what's there and what isn't there. If it goes along with the rest of it, the decode, there'll be a lot there, like more than usual. But who knows? Because there was more than usual in the letters. There was probably more than usual in the numbers, although there is usually more in the numbers than in the letters anyway. And we'll see about binary. More than usual, about the same, or less than usual. 0.29% variance, less than 0.3% on the lyric change that we're doing in the song. That is to say that less than 0.3% of the words in that song and title changed. Should be barely noticeable, but it is noticeable. So even at 5%, even if you had a 5%, not 0.5, even if you had 5% of 100%, that wouldn't be all that noticeable in theory, because it's only 5%, still less than 10%. Everything we found has been less than 10%, even in our older decodes. So, anything at less than 10%, most people might not even notice it. You might have to get up to around a 20% variance, 25% variance, maybe 15, somewhere in that region. 15 to 25% maybe, before somebody would start to go, hey, wait a minute, something seems off with this song, if you weren't alert to it, right? The thing about the Mandela Effect community is we're alert to it. So we catch small variances. But the bulk of the population, it might take a 20% variance, 25, that's a quarter. Maybe if a quarter of the lyrics were changed, people would take notice. But these are changing in very small amounts. I think our highest was like 6 point something percent. You might have even had a 7%, but it was all under 10%. And most people might not even notice a 10% variance in a song because it ain't that much, you know? So, anyway, guys, I'm rambling now, but thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. If you get anything out of these videos and you're still with me, please thumb up. And thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And binary will be next on I Love Rock and Roll here. And then we'll move on maybe to Danny's maps. I think I have an idea. I think maybe if we run the simple alphabetic order, you'd have A, O, or A, E, O, F, or something like that when you did numbers for his 1,500-mile movement for South America to the east. If we started with those numbers and then worked our way back to the letters, we might get something, and we might not. And so that's one thing I'm thinking about. So I don't know if we'll do it next or if I'll keep thinking about it. But we'll see what we get and what we don't get with these binary codes for this one. So for now, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for your interest. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your evening.